and welcome. Thank you for joining us for this important event where we will elevate her, empower, inspire, and achieve, a celebration of women. By watching this event, you are taking an important step towards learning how to be a global champion for women and girls issues. I'm Deanna Nyers with Global Impact, and I'm honored to be kicking us off. Our mission at Global Impact is to inspire greater giving, and we work hard every day to live out that mission. Our hope is that you will leave this event inspired to act and make a difference in this world by helping to raise awareness to this vital cause. We also hope that you're watching with coworkers, friends, family, or other members of your community. We can make a collective impact when we join together with others. We're honored to be joined today by two incredible charity partners in the Global Impact Charity Alliance, the International Rescue Committee and Operation Smile. Both are doing really important work on the front lines to help women and girls globally, from providing services, training, economic opportunities, and providing educational pathways for women to be global leaders in healthcare. These organizations are working to improve women's safety, health, education, and economic well-being, and to create opportunities for women and girls to make change in their communities. Let's first set the stage with the need. Almost 95% of all maternal deaths occur in low and lower middle income countries in 2020. Worldwide, nearly 1 in 4 girls between the ages of 15 and 19 are neither employed nor in education or training, compared to only 1 in 10 boys. The global economy is losing out on at least $7 trillion of economic gains each year due to a failure to reach gender parity in the workforce. 1 in every 10 women is living in extreme poverty, and if current trends continue, by 2030, an estimated of 8% of the world's female population will still be living on less than $2.15 a day. Women and girls suffer most from the lack of safely managed water and sanitation. Women and girls are responsible for water collection in nearly 70% of households without access to water on premises. And women are less likely than men to have access to financial institutions or have a bank account. So how can you help? Let's now discuss how you can make a big impact, even with a small donation to International Rescue Committee. Just $25 buys 1 solar lamp and a charger for a family without electricity. $52 trains a midwife to help other women have safe births, and $110 supplies clean water for a refugee family in need. And for Operation Smile, just $10 delivers a 3-day supply of infant food to help a mom and baby in need. $80 provides a patient and mother with breastfeeding supplies, including a manual breast pump, specialty feeding equipment, wash supplies, and printed materials to support the mother in breastfeeding a child with a cleft condition. And $240 provides that life-changing 45-minute cleft surgery and a bright, beautiful new smile to a waiting child. We encourage you to be a global champion and support the IRC and Operation Smile to help ensure women and girls are set up for safety and success. Give to them or other global organizations supporting women's causes through your employee giving campaign. Global Impact also hosts our very own Women and Girls Fund that you can give to through your workplace. Through this fund, you will join with other donors looking to change the world by helping provide education, job training, healthcare, safe drinking water, and a host of other services to women and girls around the world. Your contributions go directly to supporting real and meaningful work to improve the lives of women and girls. Now let's take a moment to watch a short video on what it means to be a global champion. After the video concludes, I am thrilled to welcome our speaker from the International Rescue Committee.
my name is Savannah, and I am the Manager of Employee Engagement and Workplace Giving here at the International Rescue Committee. Thank you for being here today and for Global Impact for inviting me to speak with you about the IRC. Let's dive right in. So the International Rescue Committee helps people affected by humanitarian crises survive, recover, and rebuild their lives. We deliver lasting impact by providing healthcare, helping children learn, and empowering individuals and communities to become self-reliant, always with a focus on the unique needs of women and girls. Our offices are in over 40 countries and are dispersed across regions around the globe. Our work is more important now than ever. There are more than 120 million people displaced around the world for the first time on record due to war, conflict, political upheaval, persecution, and climate-induced disasters. We are experiencing the aftermath of the largest evacuation since the Vietnam War, with 76,000 Afghans entering the US in 2021, and the Russian invasion in Ukraine, which created the fastest displacement crisis in Europe since World War II, among countless other conflicts that have pushed the number of people forced to flee violence, human rights violations, and persecution. The total number of displaced people around the world has doubled in the past decade, resulting in over 1% of the world's global population unable to live safely at home. Here's a snapshot of how we empowered our clients in 2023. We're still waiting on our 2024 numbers. As part of our work in 2023, the IRC provided 11 million people with health consultations, enrolled 1.6 million children and youth in learning programs, and 721,000 people were admitted for nutrition services. We're always working to make a greater impact. Here's just a snapshot of some eye-opening facts about the global refugee crisis. 40% of all displaced people are children. 70% of displaced people are displaced for more than 5 years. 75% of globally displaced people are hosted by low and middle income countries. And 120 million people have been displaced as of May 2024. As an organization, we have the following primary commitments: helping people in the world's toughest and most remote places, responding quickly and aiming to stay as long as we are needed, developing and deploying a wide range of programs that address people's multifaceted needs and deliver the greatest impact, helping people become part of their new communities worldwide, and constantly adapting and improving our programs. Good enough is never an option for the people we serve and for our staff worldwide. Women and girls, particularly in places affected by crisis, face violence and a lack of equal opportunities that threaten their lives and rob them of their potential. But with the right support and investment, they can change their own future and uplift entire communities. Right now, in Gaza, there are nearly 1.9 million Palestinians that are internally displaced. More than 370 aid workers have been killed, and 1 in 3 children are now malnourished. On the slide here, you'll see Rowita. She is an IRC nutritional officer in Gaza. She is defying all of these odds stacked against them to help children and families displaced by violence. She and her team focus on providing valuable dietary and nutrition services to families. That's a need that is especially acute among children and pregnant women right now. The lack of nutritious food and resources in Gaza has created a medical and psychological crisis for children and families. But Rowita and her team press on to change these odds for families before they become even higher. Next is a video showcasing the International Rescue Committee's annual emergency watch list, which highlights 20 countries most at risk for new or worsened humanitarian emergencies. For more than a decade, this report has helped the IRC prepare for emergencies and deliver life-saving services, accurately predicting 85 to 95% of the world's worst humanitarian deteriorations annually.
The world is out of balance. We feel it every day. But in 20 countries, the effects are felt more deeply than anywhere else on Earth. These 20 countries are home to just 11% of the world's population. But they account for over 70% of the world's displaced, hungry, and those in humanitarian need. Why? Because leaders are choosing weapons over diplomacy as conflict rises. Wars are devastating entire communities as families become targets. Over the past decade, attacks on civilians have risen by 66%. Tilting the balance further, wealthy countries are accelerating the climate crisis. Whereas these 20 countries contribute less than 4% of carbon emissions. People in these countries risk losing everything to climate change. And as stable countries are getting richer, conflict-affected ones are getting even poorer. In several of the top 20 countries, debt is so overwhelming that more is spent on repaying it than on healthcare. The International Rescue Committee's emergency watch list is all about these 20 countries. It explains the trends, why they're hit the hardest, and what we can do. The challenges people face are immense, but they deserve to be solved. The world has the resources to do more good now than at any other time in human history. Read the emergency watch list to see how, together, we can help rebalance the scales in our world.
Unrestricted donations and resources are the foundation upon which all of our work is built. They help provide no limits on the use of the donation, and it showcases a partner's trust in our staff. Unrestricted gifts enable us to act quickly in the face of new challenges with agility when we need to course correct, thoughtful so that we can make the sustainable choices when it comes to our programming, and boldly so that we are innovating new ways of working. Your leadership in supporting this will help catalyze our work as unrestricted donors and partners are critical when it comes to all of our accomplishments. Here are just a couple of ways that you can get involved and help. One way would be workplace giving. You can invite your staff and or colleagues to support our clients and communities by becoming more involved in our mission. And, remember that matching gifts are also a very great way to raise funds for the IRC. So make sure you check and see if your company has a matching gift program. It's a very easy way to support the IRC. And then secondly, I ask that you engage with us on social at rescue.org. Just by sharing that you stand with us and you support us in our mission and are amplifying our mission, across all platforms. To wrap up, thank you so much for your interest in the IRC. We would not be here without supporters like you. If you'd like to learn more about the IRC and how you can further support, please visit rescue.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone at the International Rescue Committee for the incredible work you are doing. Before you hear from Operation Smile, I want to introduce myself and share a few additional statistics on women and girls around the world. My name is Jackie Londo, and I'm a director alongside Deanna at Global Impact. So I want to start with a trivia question about our organization. I'll have 5 total questions before we hear from our next speaker. First, when was Global Impact founded? Do you think it's 1934, 1950, 1956, or 1971? The answer is 1956. Global Impact has been around for nearly 70 years, and in that time, we have raised more than $2.5 billion for positive impact. We have over 150 staff across 6 locations. Now let's move to question number 2. Deanna shared earlier that women and girls suffer most from the lack of safely managed water and sanitation. They also spend a large amount of time collecting water. Let me ask you our second trivia question. Funding for clean water and sanitation programs can reduce the time women and girls spend collecting water by how many hours globally each day? Personally, I think all of these are large, but what do you think is the correct answer? Is it 10 million, 70 million, 100 million, or 200 million hours daily? 200 million, according to our charity partner UNICEF. That's 200 million hours daily that could be spent focused on education, work, or other passions women and girls have. So let's move to question number 3. Which country was the first to grant women the right to vote? Is it New Zealand, the United States, Germany, or Sweden? I'll give you a hint. It's not Germany, although they have the longest serving female head of government, serving as chancellor from 2005 to 2021. If you guessed New Zealand, you were correct. They were the first country to grant women the right to vote. However, women could not run for election to parliament until 1919. So let's move to question 4. Investing in girls' education can increase a country's GDP by how much per year? If you guessed 3%, you were correct. According to World Bank, investing in girls' education can increase GDP by up to 3%. So from providing services, training, economic opportunities, and providing educational pathways for girls and women to be global leaders, International Rescue Committee, Operation Smile, and our team at Global Impact are making a difference. All right, last question, and this one's a little fun. Which all-female band had a hit with Wannabe in the 90s? Do you think it's Destiny's Child, the Spice Girls, the Supremes, or Blackpink? Luckily, there's a variety of incredible women's music groups to pick from, so I'll give you a few more seconds to determine your answer. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. It's the Spice Girls. Thank you for participating in these trivia questions, and hopefully the Spice Girls won't be stuck in your head all day. I hope you enjoyed the trivia and learned a few things along the way. Now I have the pleasure to introduce Operation Smile to share more about how they are creating opportunities for women and girls.
Operation Smile is a global nonprofit bridging the gap in access to essential surgeries and healthcare, starting with cleft surgery and comprehensive care. We provide medical expertise, training, research, and care through our dedicated staff and medical and student volunteers around the world, working alongside local governments, nonprofits, and health systems, and supported by our generous donors and corporate partners. Operation Smile was founded in 1982 when our co-founders went to the Philippines and provided surgical care. There they saw the great need to bring care closer to where our patients live. Today, Operation Smile has grown to serve 36 countries with the support of over 6,000 medical volunteers. We partner with over 190 hospitals globally to deliver direct patient care and train local healthcare workers. Since 1982, we have provided free surgery for over 360,000 patients worldwide. We're very proud of these accomplishments. However, we also know there's more to be done. There are 5 billion people in the world who do not have access to safe, affordable, and timely surgical care. Of that, there are 7 million people living with unrepaired cleft conditions in low to middle resource countries. Operation Smile is committed to increasing the care for 1 million patients with cleft conditions and other essential and emergency surgical conditions in the next 10 years. Over the next decade, our organization will ramp up investments in remote areas and expand partnerships with local ministries of health, donors, corporations, and academic institutions to strengthen local health systems. One way the system will be strengthened is by increasing the density of providers globally. So why women in medicine? We all know there are 5 billion people in the world with no access to safe surgery. That's more than half of the world's population. To increase access, more than 2 million surgical teams are needed. We can't meet this need without more women in the healthcare arena because healthcare is mostly provided by women, but few have access to decision-making roles.
So when you think about those women that helped take care of you when you were little, that were there when you were hurt or afraid? What can you do for them? Imagine that we could create a different paradigm. So Women in Medicine is about bringing women into the workforce, helping them to advance and train in the healthcare workforce, lifting them up in leadership positions in the workforce.
We know right now 70% of the workforce in medicine is women, but yet they only have 25% of the senior leadership. So how do we balance that out a little bit?
Women in Medicine will do that in 4 ways. 1, we will continue to help provide these opportunities for intense mentorship. 2, we'll help invest in women's journeys towards advancing their education in medicine so that they can enter the workforce, advance in the workforce, and become leaders in the workforce. 3, we're going to help with the thought leadership and the development of the importance and the relevance of moving women into the workforce as a solution to the global problem. And finally, Women in Medicine will be conducting research about gender inequities, the barriers to women entering the workforce, and what some interventions are that could be the most effective. That will help not only them, but children. That will increase our provider density. That'll increase access to the services that children need. Large body of study shows that the more gender equity there is in the workforce, the more health outcome equity there is in the population.
The main highlight of the research for me, which I think isn't a crazy novel finding, but is so incredible when you really take a moment to think about it, is the similarities. We had women on those programs from all over the world. It shows that women want to lead, but maybe don't seek those opportunities out as often, that they want mentorship, that they feel that their opportunities are growing, but they're still at a disadvantage. And it creates kind of a camaraderie of this universal experience being a woman in medicine, regardless of where you're from. The patient component was really important to us from a research perspective. Could this impact the mothers and the patients? And we saw incredible feedback on that, as the exposure of seeing women as their doctors, as their providers, changed their perception of what women can do.
Some of them who had baby girls or little girls said, like, this way I'm going to be able to tell my girl when she grows up that she can become a doctor, that she can be a psychologist, that she can be a nurse.
That's where Women in Medicine is right now, this powerful place of designing what are the most impactful programs and initiatives and interventions that we can design to help women become empowered and step into their power.
Operation Smile's Women in Medicine initiative is central to bringing care closer to our patients and helping to build global health infrastructure. In 2022, we launched this initiative in Morocco, where we brought together 80 women from 15 countries to provide surgery for patients and come together through leadership and mentorship opportunities. Since then, we've implemented this program in 3 additional regions in Peru, Malawi, and the Philippines. Across our women-led surgical programs, we have uncovered that 80% of patients and families express more confidence with an all-women team. This research is making its way to academic journals to demonstrate that increased visibility of women also improve patient attitudes towards female providers, especially in patients without prior exposure, meaning that increasing female representation in healthcare may have an even greater effect on cultures where more gender inequity exists.
The need in plastic surgery in Rwanda is really huge. To a population of 13 million or even more, we only have 2 plastic surgeons. I feel very bad of turning down the patients because some are just kids like my kids, and I feel like if it was my child, what would I feel? I like plastic surgery because It does not only affect people's lives in terms of illness, but also in terms of their happiness, their well-being, and their confidence. Becoming a first female plastic surgeon in my country is really exciting to me. I think it's an inspiration to other women. It's important for us to stay in our country to serve our population because we've seen the need, and it is for us to meet that need.
Stories like Francois inspire me and our organization every day. This is the kind of change we want to see in the world, so care can be provided closer to a patient's home all over the world. You can support Operation Smile through your workplace and find out more about our work at operationsmile.org.
Thank you again to both of our charity partners. We truly appreciate the work you're doing and appreciate you taking the time to share your stories with us. I am certainly inspired by everything you shared and the amazing work of IRC and Operation Smile, and I hope that you are too. And now it's time to take action. We encourage you to give through your workplace to support charities working to empower women, including the International Rescue Committee and Operation Smile. You can also give through your workplace to the Women and Girls Fund. And we hope that you'll reach out to us to discuss engagement opportunities and how you can get your workplace or community involved. That wraps up our event. Thank you again to our charity partner guests, and thank you to all of you for tuning in. We really do hope that you will take action and join us in supporting them along with our other wonderful Charity Alliance partners who are all working to make a difference around the world. Reach out to us at engage@charity.org. And remember, every dollar truly makes an impact. Thank you so much for being global champions.